Yeah. Special counsel David Weiss's filing says Hunter was concerned the, quote, lobbying work might cause political ramifications for his father, unquote. So the payment was structured in a way that concealed the true nature of the work he was performing. Sound familiar? It sounds like all of those shell accounts that this family set up with regard to accepting money from China and Russia and Ukraine. Same situation. But now Joe Biden is out of the race, so the DOJ can be honest with us. Joining me now is Texas Congressman Michael Cloud, a member of the House Oversight, Appropriations, and Select Committee on the Coronavirus Pandemic. Congressman, what can you tell us about this?
Well, exactly what you're saying. First of all, the timing of it is certainly suspect, and the fact that now that Biden's out of the race, we're willing to talk about these things is concerning. You know, we need to have a DOJ that's willing to dig into this. One of the big things when I talk to people back home, one of the big frustrations is people want to see people held accountable. We don't have the handcuffs in Congress. We can investigate, but then we're supposed to be able to turn that over to the DOJ, who continues to look into these things. And so we've unveiled the shell game in the Oversight Committee for quite some time now. And now that Biden's out of the race, the DOJ is willing to talk about it. So this is a concerning time for America. People want to see the rule of law in place.
Yeah, but I mean, look, your chairman of the Oversight Committee, James Comer, sent a letter to Joe Biden back in March of this year, basically saying we have no evidence that any work was performed, and yet your family has accepted all of this money and you put it in confusing shell accounts so that people would not be able to follow the money. Is this the same situation with this oligarch from Romania? Because James Comer laid out lots of situations from China, Russia, Ukraine in that letter to President Biden. Did he ever get back to you all? And is this in step with how he operated?
Yeah, this is along the lines of everything that we've seen, and what we come to know was business as usual for the Biden family. And you think about where they started, President Biden was not involved at all, never had a conversation, and then that ball kept moving. We've unveiled the shell game where this money moves all over the place. The Bidens are very good at moving money and getting it where it needs to go. It should concern every single American, the fact that we have the concerning part, especially at this point as we look forward, is the fact that we have a DOJ that embraces lawlessness and is willing to cover for the Biden family when they're useful for political means, and willing to finally unveil the truth, perhaps when it's not convenient anymore. And so this is again extremely concerning as we continue to look forward.
So is there going to be no accountability? They're just going to tell us that, yes, they accepted money, influence peddling, money laundering, but there's nothing's going to be done about it? I mean, so what now? Were there promises made to Joe Biden that there would be no follow-up on all of this, what James Comer has called money laundering and influence peddling, because he stepped out of the race? Yeah. Was that the promise?
Well, who knows what went on in that room when they decided that Biden was not going to run anymore and that they were going to make a switch. That is concerning. Ultimately, Biden will still have the power to pardon ultimately before he leaves office. So that's another thing that's an issue here. From what we can do in the House, we're going to continue to investigate. We're going to continue to try to tell the truth to the American people and uncover it. Unfortunately, we have, by and large, a media that's been complicit in showing any sort of lack of curiosity when we have mainstream media that should be digging into these sorts of things. They've been willing to kind of help sweep it under the rug. Now they're willing to talk about it maybe a little bit, again, because Biden's not a factor in a political race. But, it's concerning.
Kamala Harris is now campaigning in Phoenix today. She's not expected to visit the actual border, even though all the gotaways go to Arizona. Her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, has supported policies like sanctuary cities, providing illegal migrants with health care, driver's licenses, free tuition. Back in 2018, Walz said that he did not want police asking people about their immigration status. He said that Minnesotans are more secure when everyone feels safe to cooperate fully with the police. At the time, he told CBS News, quote, "If your neighbor witnesses someone breaking into your home, you are safer when your neighbor knows their immigration status is not at risk if they call the police." House Judiciary Committee revealed the Biden-Harris administration has released nearly 100 migrants on the terrorist watch list into the United States. I mean, how does this fly? Texas Governor Greg Abbott reacted to the report on X, writing this: FBI Director Wray warned the border crisis could lead to another 9/11 terrorist attack. It will be Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's fault. But there's no conversation about this. She's going to Phoenix to campaign. No word about the fact that the last 3 years the open border has brought people into America who are on the terrorist watch list.
Yeah, we are not safe as we once were, and it's a massive burden on every single community. And not to mention, our government has lost tens of thousands of kids, and so they basically set up a system that aids and abets the cartels. Our border apparatus looks very something similar to what it would look like if we asked the cartels to design it. They want just enough of an illusion of security to be able to charge a high premium and to operate, but not enough to actually secure our border. And so the nefarious action that's going on, from the fentanyl that's pouring in, precursors coming from China, to the terrorists that are coming across our border. I get pictures from our sheriffs here in South Texas of what's coming across our border. These aren't what we've come to know in the past of people just looking for a better life. A lot of them are military-age single adults coming across from countries that don't like us. This should, again, the job of Homeland Security is to protect the homeland. Instead, they've prioritized processing over protection, and it's affected every single community. I applaud what our governor's done to do the best we can to protect Texas, but we've got a lot of work to do to make sure that every community across our country is secure, and the Biden-Harris plan is not the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to ask you, really. I mean, as an elected official, can you do anything about any of this?
The issue we have right now is we have an administration that's willing to flaunt the law. So, there were some loopholes that made it challenging for President Trump, but still he was able to work and to get the border secure. We passed H.R. 2, would have helped take care of some of those loopholes. But the fact is that this administration has every single authority and actually has more funds to secure the border than the President Trump did. So they are flaunting the law at every single opportunity to make sure that they are able to pour millions into our country that don't legally belong here. And so there's a legal process and a legal process to do. My wife is actually a naturalized citizen, so we've been through the immigration process. There's a right way to do it. We are a welcoming country, but we need to incentivize a legal process and secure our border, make sure our communities are secure.
All right, Congressman, we'll be watching your work. Thank you so much. Michael Cloud joining us. Quick break, and then more cases of anti-Semitism on